All right, so after any of our workouts, we always need to make sure that we stretch and that we make sure that we get some food in our bodies within the next 20 to 30 minutes, specifically some proteins. So when I'm doing up the videos and when I'm doing some of the workouts, I definitely tend to kind of slough that off and presume that everybody's going to do that, and that definitely is not the case. Yoga's awesome because you can do lots of really long stretches, or we can kind of sneak in what appears to be balance and strength asanas or poses, and then you actually get some range of motion and some mobility work in there as well. So I definitely love if you can fit in some yoga, that would be ideal, but I'm going to kind of show you what you need to be doing at the end of every class that might be some really good stretches. So one of my favorites is always extending one leg, crisscrossing the other one over. Sitting up super tall so that my sits bones are rooted down. Finding an inhale here and then exhaling into a twist. So pulling that knee in as you feel those shoulders rotating without falling back. Feel that stretch in your glutes and maybe even quite deep, like almost into that piriformis area, that area that you might need to use a tennis ball in order to get into. That's where I feel it for this one. So nice, easy stretches. Feeling that twist, always rotating through our spine and even trying to find that extra mobility through our neck as we roll our chin back towards our back shoulder. So again, feeling like you're rooted, taking your right leg over your left, inhaling up, finding that length, and then twisting as you exhale. And then eventually drawing that chin around to your back shoulder. We're trying to move a little bit of the fascia in our body and trying to make sure that with age and with injury that we don't have it lock up, get really stiff, and prevent some range and some mobility through our body. So even when you move into a twist like this, try not to settle in exactly in one spot. You know, try to find a little bit of an extra lift, a little bit of an extra twist, just something that moves you out of that habitual movement or space that you always fall into, and really think about, oh, how can I move that just a tiny bit? Always Baddha Konasana or any variation of this. So feet together, you can press those knees out to the side. I actually don't love the folding forward fold as much as lots will do because we often don't have that range through our hips. So at any point, dropping this one down onto your back. So you're still gonna feel that curve through your lower back, but hips are open, knees are out to the side. You can hang out here. In my yoga classes, I often talk about pulling your shoulders and arms back down to the ground, opening up through your chest. So this might not be a super easy movement, but we really will open up through our front body, kind of settle into that for a little while. I love the Supta Baddha Konasana, so that reclined butterfly, but I like adding the option of the cactus arms. Kind of the same as when you go up against the wall in a wall sit and try to pull your arms back, right? Anytime we have an opportunity to do that, we need to do that. We can take one leg into our other leg, relax through our hip, let that knee drop down. Inhale and exhale, hinge forward. Look out past your toes and feel that leg through your knee. So we want to keep this leg straight, right? If we start shortening up too much in a pose that's optimal to have a stretched leg, then we're shortening through our hamstring. So think about that hamstring running from your glutes down into your behind your knee. And yes, we often kind of give this area a little bit of some stretch, but we often shorten up here. So this is one where even if you're up this tall, right? Even if you're hinging to here, if you feel a stretch at the back of your knee, that's awesome. Stay there, okay? Try not to shorten that one up. You might want to grab hold of your feet or come around, but lengthen out first. Look out past your toes with a flat back, then relax through your shoulders, fold down a little bit. Obviously, you're going to do that on both sides. Turn your shoulders square. Inhale, exhale, find that hinge. Hinges from your hips, looking out past your toes. And kind of settle in again. just letting that stretch and opening happen through the backs of your legs. You can do another version of this and you can take it onto your back. So I like this one a lot. Again, forward fold is tough. We forward fold all the time in life. So whenever we can pull those shoulders back and do an opposing pose, we want to do that. So if you come down onto your back, press your left foot into the ground and stretch that right foot up. You could grab a strap around the arch of your foot. Maybe you can reach your foot here, or maybe grab hold of behind your calf. Again, I don't want your knee to bend here. Pull your shoulders back, open up through your chest. Try to send that leg up. Send your heel up towards the ceiling. Doesn't matter where it is. You can take a towel around that leg. Whatever you need in order to feel a stretch through the back of your leg. Kind of hang out here. And then eventually you can take your left hand to your hip and open that leg out to the side. So your left knee might naturally drop out. Feel that left hand to your hip and then keep your shoulders pulled back. So try not to let that shoulder come up. Open up here. Then you're opening up through your hip, through your groin, and all the way through the back of your leg. And you can just hang out here as long as you need. I'm gonna walk us through these stretches rather quickly, but I just want to give you some ideas. So you can stay here for quite a while. One of my favorite stretches is coming from here, crisscrossing over and drawing that leg across the midline. So for me, I can feel that all the way through the back of my leg, wrapping around my knee, still pulling my shoulders back. So this does not need to be a big movement. I can feel it along my IT band. And then this one's kind of an interesting one here. If you flex your foot, rotate it around, see how that feels. I can get a stretch through my foot here that I can't get in any other position. It feels warm, not a place that I'd want to stay in for a long time, but obviously one that I need to kind of explore a little bit, right? Talking about that fascia and those locked spaces. And then you can switch sides. So you're going to take your right leg down, send your left leg up, grab hold behind, grab a strap, grab that towel around the arch of your foot. Feel that that leg is long and open up. Then when you've been here for a bit, open it up to the side, right hand to your right hip, see where you need to be in order to open up through your back body. Once you've done that for a little bit, you're coming back into center and crisscrossing that leg over. So again, because I'm so biased to the yoga, and because if you know me, you know that I didn't start with a focus in yoga. Anytime you can get some different yoga practices in, these poses and asanas are just built in. And so you're naturally just gonna find some length through your body that you wouldn't find when you rush away from your fitness settings. Again, play around with that ankle and foot movement as much as you can here. I'm gonna show you one more that might just be a little bit different than what you're used to. Take that right leg, crisscross over, flex through both feet. I love this one. It feels much better than pigeon or thread the needle for me. So instead of reaching through, hold your figure four, take your right hand, press your right knee out, take your left hand, pull that heel in a little bit. So open up through your chest and feel your back connecting to the ground. You need to flex your feet, otherwise you may do something to your knee. We know that our knees are only supposed to hinge. So when you flex, you prevent any extra movement from coming, and then your movement is definitely from your hip. So I find more space in here than I ever find in any other stretches. Once I hold here and really kind of hang out, press out, see what I can feel to the sides, then you can drop that right foot to the side. Feel that stretch through your torso. Stay here or even stretch that leg out. Maybe feeling it a little bit lower, maybe coming into your lower back. So find that twist, pull your right shoulder back to the ground, take your arms into a T and hang out here. Again, you can stay here as long as you need and kind of playing around with how that feels as you move into your twist. But constantly trying to think about that right shoulder coming back down to the ground. You can do this on both sides, left leg over obviously, flexing through your feet, pushing your left knee out, pulling your left heel in with your right hand, and just finding that opening through your hip. I can feel and hear sometimes that clicking through my hip that I never used to have. Evidently that's old fascia. That's just, it just gets a little bit locked, and we need to figure out how to move that. Once you stay here for a bit, you can drop down. Again, take your arms out into a T, play around with what that looks like on the other side. For me, these are enough movements and stretches to open up through my front body. Feel really great after adding those stretches on at the end. If you don't feel like you've had enough stretches, you can always come into that table, reach your arm out, sink down. Again, you might be able to get into that lower back a little bit more. Always finding that downward facing dog and lengthening through my back. Feeling that length all the way through my back body is excellent. If you feel that you haven't got enough through your quads by the time you're done, lots of different options. I don't mind just standing up and pulling that leg in, feeling that push as my hip comes forward in a standing position, but I like that one coming down too. So if you've got the range and you can pick that foot up along the back, you just don't want it to come out to the side, right? So heel coming in, you naturally feel that hip coming down, and then you press into your hand as much as you need. You might feel like it's a little bit of a fight as your foot pushes into your arm, and you might feel that you get some opening here. So this would be one of my favorite quad stretches. Plus I just love that opening through the shoulder that I know I'm not getting, especially with lots of this computer work that we're doing right now. So lean forward, get that knee stacked above your heel, lift up. So 20 to 30 minutes after your workout, make sure that you get some food in you, not start prepping food. 20 to 30 minutes, even if it's a banana or an apple with some peanut butter, even if it's a yogurt, if your body does dairy really well, something that kind of gives your body that first step to repairing the muscles that you've just torn down and rebuilding. That's where the work happens. So have a great day.